All right, welcome back, everyone. We're diving deep today, deep into the world of AI, and specifically a company called DeepSeek that's, well, making some serious waves
Yeah, big waves.
with their new R1 model.
Yeah. And
And from the looks of the articles, it's shaking things up, like really shaking things up.
big time.
So today, let's figure out what makes DeepSeek so special,
Okay.
how their AI compares to the big guys, especially OpenAI, and what it all means for the future, the whole AI landscape, you know?
Yeah, I think what's fascinating here is how DeepSeek just kind of popped up kind of out of nowhere
Yeah?
and just disrupted everything with this R1.
Really?
One of the things that makes this R1 stand out, is this chain of thought reasoning ability. Now, you might be thinking, wait, didn't we already see this with ChatGPT?
Right.
And you'd be right. But
Yeah.
DeepSeek's got some key differences here, some things that make their approach really interesting.
Okay, I'm hooked. Tell me more. What's different about DeepSeek's chain of thought?
Yeah.
And why is everyone making such a fuss about it?
So imagine this. Instead of just giving you a straight answer,
Yeah.
this AI walks you through how it's thinking, step by step, like a person would.
Really?
So it can handle those really tough questions, those complex problems, and explain its reasoning in a way that's easy to follow.
Ah, that's big.
Yeah.
So it's not just about getting the right answer,
Right.
but understanding how the AI actually got there.
That's it.
Which is huge, especially when we talk about trust, transparency in AI systems.
Absolutely. And here's where it gets even more interesting.
Okay.
DeepSeek is giving this model away for free
Wow.
to users, and their API,
Yeah.
99% cheaper than what most of their competitors are charging.
99%. That's not just a sale. That's disrupting the whole game.
That's a market disruption right there.
Yeah. I mean, I'm looking at this article here, and it says that this pricing strategy sent shockwaves through the financial markets. I mean,
Save time.
NASDAQ Q futures fell almost 4%.
Yeah.
NVIDIA shares down 10%.
Oh, yeah.
And European tech companies like AML, Siemens Energy, they all took a hit.
They did.
It's like DeepSeek just threw a grenade into this whole AI arena.
And they did it with a pretty small team, too.
Really?
139 researchers, most of them under 35 years old.
Wow.
They developed this groundbreaking model, and it really challenges that idea that you need these huge teams and billions of dollars to even make a dent in AI.
Yeah.
They developed their previous model,
Yeah.
DeepSeek 3, for only $6 million.
$6 million.
Think about that.
That's nothing.
Compared to companies like Meta and Microsoft, who are pouring money, billions.
Yeah.
$65 billion pledges each into AI.
$55 billion.
Yeah.
It's a crazy difference.
Yeah, it makes you wonder, right?
It does.
Is just throwing money at the problem, is that the best solution? DeepSeek's kind of proving here that you can be lean,
Yeah.
agile, and just as effective.
If not more.
Maybe even more so.
Yeah. So let's get back to this R1. What can it do?
Well, this R1's got some pretty impressive features. Built-in internet search.
Okay.
It can process information in real time.
So it's connected live.
It's live, and it supports multiple languages, even Ukrainian.
Wow.
And it can analyze images, different kinds of files.
So it's like a multi-tool.
Yeah, like a Swiss Army knife of AI tools all in one.
And this isn't just hype I see here, R1s. It's at the top of the chatbot rankings by UC Berkeley.
Yeah, number one.
Eating out some of the biggest names globally.
All the big players.
They're walking the walk.
They are.
But how did they pull this off, especially with those U.S. sanctions, on all that advanced tech going to China?
That's the question, isn't it? It's really about their ingenuity.
Yeah.
DeepSeek, they got around those sanctions.
How?
By developing a new architecture. They call it MLA.
Yeah.
And they've optimized their training process to need, less computational power.
Less power.
By a factor of 11.
11 times less power.
Yeah.
That's amazing.
Resourcefulness, innovation under pressure.
Yeah. They didn't just build a good model. They built it in a way that avoided those roadblocks.
Right around them.
Really remarkable. Their parent company, An Kun, they played a big role here, right?
They did. They stockpiled strategically somewhere between 10,000 and 50,000 those powerful NVIDIA GPUs.
Oh, wow.
Before the sanctions hit.
Talk about thinking ahead.
Parasite, man.
They really saw what was coming, and they made sure they had what they needed to not just stay afloat, but to really take off.
Yeah, that's some high-level strategic thinking.
This is already a pretty wild story.
Yeah.
But, I want to know more about this MLA architecture.
Okay. Yeah.
How does it work?
Well, it's pretty technical, but basically MLA, it's all about, it's pretty technical, but basically MLA, it's all about maximizing efficiency.
Efficiency.
So instead of just relying on, brute force computation like some of those bigger models do, it streamlines the learning process.
Okay.
Needs less data, less processing power to get those same results.
So it's like finding a shortcut.
Yeah.
Like a smarter way, more elegant way to get to that same goal without all that heavy lifting.
Exactly. And it really challenges one of those core assumptions we've had in AI, that bigger is always better.
Right.
DeepSeek is showing us that, you can be more focused, more resource conscious, and still be effective.
And potentially more effective.
Perhaps, maybe even more so than just throwing tons of computational power at it.
Yeah, that's a pretty big shift, a paradigm shift.
Yeah, it is.
It seems like DeepSeek's really changing the rules of the game here.
They're changing the game, but how's the West reacting to all of this?
Yeah, that's a good question.
DeepSeek's success is making people think, especially in the West.
Okay.
The U.S. in particular, they put those export restrictions in place to, limit China's access to that advanced technology.
Right, the high-powered GPUs DeepSeek use.
Exactly. And those restrictions were aimed at, slowing down China's AI progress.
Right, right.
But, DeepSeek's achievements are making people wonder.
Wonder if it's working.
Yeah. Are those restrictions really effective?
Yeah.
I mean, they've shown that you can still have amazing innovation even with those limitations.
Maybe because of them.
Maybe even fueled by them,
So trying to hold them back might have actually pushed them forward.
It's that double-edged sword.
It is. It really highlights a core difference in philosophy between DeepSeek and some of those leading AI companies in the West.
Absolutely. You're talking about that focus on efficiency and making the most of what they have.
Right. Squeezing every ounce of potential out of limited resources.
That's it. DeepSeek's success is a challenge to that trend in the West of just relying on bigger and bigger computers for AI advancement.
Just keep scaling up, keep throwing more power at it.
Exactly. They've shown you can achieve big breakthroughs with a streamlined, more strategic approach.
It's like they're saying we don't need a rocket to get to the moon.
Right.
We can build a smarter, more efficient spacecraft.
That's the idea, and that message, it's resonating, not just in China, but globally.
I bet.
Developers, researchers, they're all looking for alternatives to those resource-heavy models.
Right, the ones that are being developed in the West.
Exactly. It's a wake-up call for sure.
It is. It's making everyone rethink priorities.
Reassess, what does it really take to succeed in this AI race?
Right. It really makes you wonder if DeepSeek is going to start a whole new wave of AI development, one that's all about efficiency and accessibility over just sheer scale.
It's possible. The sources we've looked at, they point to a potential paradigm shift.
A shift.
Yeah, in AI development, DeepSeek's model with that focus on chain of thought reasoning, it's showing us that there are other ways to get those incredible results.
Without needing all that data and processing power.
Exactly. It's not all about brute force.
There's another thing that really struck me about DeepSeek.
Okay.
Their commitment to accessibility. Offering their model for free to users, that's almost unheard of.
It is. It's a game changer.
What does that kind of open access mean? What are the implications?
It could really democratize AI.
Democratize.
Yeah. Give individuals and smaller organizations the power to innovate and experiment.
In ways they couldn't before.
That's right. It levels the playing field.
But anyone can play in the AI sandbox now.
Exactly. And, this is making some companies nervous.
Like Google, OpenAI, the ones who've spent a fortune on those proprietary models.
Oh, yeah. There's definitely some unease there. DeepSeek could start a price war.
A price war.
In the AI market, force those other companies to rethink their pricing.
To stay competitive.
Exactly. It's not just the technology they're disrupting.
It's the business model?
Whole business model of the industry.
This is huge, but I do have one concern.
Okay.
DeepSeek's efficiency is amazing, but is there a risk that their model might hit a limit compared to those models trained on mountains of data?
Right, yeah.
Could they be sacrificing power for efficiency?
That's a good question.
Yeah.
Researchers are looking into that right now.
Okay.
It's possible those massive data sets, the ones OpenAI and Google use, they might have a higher ceiling, in terms of what they could ultimately achieve.
Right.
But it's still early.
Yeah.
DeepSeek's shown they can push boundaries, even with limited resources.
It's classic David versus Goliath.
It is.
And right now, David's holding his own.
Yeah, he is. DeepSeek's a reminder that innovation can come from anywhere.
Right.
And sometimes those constraints, they actually lead to breakthroughs.
So what does all this mean for the future of AI?
That's the big question, isn't it?
It is.
Will DeepSeek's approach become the new normal?
Right.
Or will the industry go back to those old ways?
Relying on massive data, massive computing power.
That's the billion-dollar question.
It is.
And that's what we're going to dig into next time in part 3.
Mm-hmm.
We'll explore what DeepSeek means for the global AI landscape, the challenges they might face, and what it all means for the future of tech, in general.
Okay, so we've seen how DeepSeek's really made a splash, turned heads in the AI world, challenging the way things are usually done, and they've shaken up the whole industry. But like with any big change, there are going to be those ripple effects, those things we didn't see coming that go way beyond that initial impact. So where do we go from here? What does DeepSeek's success mean for the future of AI?
I think that's what everyone's wondering, right? Yeah.
Will DeepSeek's success kind of kickstart a whole new wave of AI development, one that's all about being smart with resources, more than just throwing a ton of computing power at it?
Right, not just brute force.
Or will the West just double down
on what they've been doing?
Yeah, on their current strategy, thinking that ultimately, bigger is always better.
It's a tough choice, a crossroads.
Yeah, it is.
On one hand, you have DeepSeek showing everyone that you don't need billions of dollars, these giant data centers to create powerful AI.
Right.
But then there's that argument that this brute force way, even though it's expensive, might lead to more advanced systems in the long run.
It might, and it's not just about the tech world either. This is going to have an impact on everything: the economy, geopolitics. Imagine if DeepSeek's model becomes the standard.
Yeah,
it could really change things. It could give smaller companies, even individuals, access to powerful AI. Yeah, like leveling the playing field in a way we haven't seen before.
Exactly, but it does raise some concerns.
It does. What happens when these really powerful tools are available to anyone?
Right. How do we make sure people use them responsibly, ethically?
Those are some big questions.
Big questions, and not just about DeepSeek. AI is advancing so quickly, it's making us rethink everything. The role of technology in our lives, how do we manage the risks, the benefits?
Yeah, feels like we're in uncharted territory here.
We are.
The future of AI isn't something far off anymore.
Nope.
It's happening right now. And DeepSeek is a pretty clear sign that things are moving faster.
Much faster.
Than anyone expected.
Yeah, it really shows us how important it is to adapt.
To be flexible.
To be willing to change our thinking.
Challenge those assumptions.
DeepSeek's story, it's a reminder that innovation can come from anywhere.
Yeah.
And sometimes it's those who can adapt, who can embrace new ways of doing things, who end up leading the way.
This has been a really eye-opening deep dive.
It has.
DeepSeek's story is a great reminder that the world of technology, it never stands still.
Always changing.
And we need to stay informed, stay engaged if we want to keep up. Any final thoughts for our listeners as they keep exploring this fascinating world of AI?
Stay curious.
Yeah.
Ask those questions.
Don't be afraid to ask.
And be open to new ideas, new possibilities.
Yeah, the future of AI, it's still being written.
It is.
And we all have a part in shaping it.
We do.
Well said. And with that, we're going to wrap up this deep dive into the world of DeepSeek and the ever-evolving landscape of artificial intelligence. Thanks for joining us, everyone, and we'll see you on our next deep dive.